All right, today we're diving into a pretty provocative idea, pulling from a Machiavellian perspective on power, how to become emotionally untouchable. And look, this isn't about becoming some kind of robot and crushing your feelings. No, it's about mastering them so they can't be used as a weapon against you. It's a really powerful concept, so let's just jump right in.
So let me ask you something straight up. Are your feelings running the show? I mean, do you ever just lash out or shut down or make a snap decision in the heat of the moment that you totally regret later? If that sounds familiar, then you know exactly what it feels like to be controlled by your emotions instead of the other way around.
Okay, so that brings us to the real heart of the problem here, something we can call the reactivity trap. Before we can even talk about a solution, we've got to understand why this trap is so dang powerful and how it can completely undermine you in, well, pretty much any strategic situation.
And here's the absolute kicker. Every single time you have one of those immediate gut-level emotional reactions, you are literally handing someone a roadmap to your own vulnerabilities. You're showing them exactly which buttons to push to get whatever they want from you. It's like an unconscious giveaway of your personal power.
This is where we need to get really clear on a huge difference. The difference between a reaction and a response. See, a reaction is instant. It's instinctive. You're basically a puppet on a string. But a response? That's deliberate. It's chosen. Reacting gives away all your power by showing your hand, while responding lets you stay in control. This right here is the foundation for getting out of that trap.
So, if reacting is the trap, how in the world do you get out? Well, it all boils down to one fundamental principle. One that can completely change the dynamic of any interaction you have.
This is the golden rule, right here. The one who stays calm controls the interaction. Just think about it for a second. Any negotiation, any argument, any high-pressure moment, who has the upper hand? It's always the person who keeps their cool. They think more clearly, they don't give away their weaknesses, and honestly, they just project this aura of control that ends up dictating the whole outcome. Now, this is where things get really interesting. We have to completely flip the script on how we even think about our feelings. What if emotions aren't just these chaotic storms we have to suffer through? What if there's something else entirely? Something we can actually use?
Here's the core concept. Start treating your emotions as data. That's it. Your feelings are just information. That flash of anger, that's not a command to yell, it's just data telling you a boundary might have been crossed. That little pang of anxiety, data about something you see as a threat. The key, the absolute game changer, is to see it as a signal to be analyzed, not a command you have to obey. This perspective changes everything.
So how do you actually do this in the real world? It's a pretty simple three-step process. First up, you observe the feeling. Don't judge it, don't try to crush it, just acknowledge it's there. Hello, anger. Second, you identify the trigger. What just happened that caused this signal? Pinpoint it. And third, and this is the most important part, you choose your action. You deliberately decide what to do next, instead of letting that emotion make the decision for you.
And when you practice this process over and over, you start to build something we're going to call the immunity mindset. This is the ultimate goal, right? It's a state of strategic emotional control. At its core, this whole thing is about making a huge shift. It's about moving from being a slave to your feelings to becoming their master. It's like a declaration of your own internal independence, and it's the core belief you're trying to build here. Now, to be crystal clear, becoming emotionally untouchable does not mean you become a robot. It's not about just suppressing your feelings and bottling them up. No, it's about mastering them. It's about creating that little bit of space, that pause between a feeling and your action. That's where you take all your power back, by choosing your response based on strategy, not just raw instinct.
All right, let's tie all of this together now. Let's look at the final head-to-head comparison between these two completely opposite ways of being.
Okay, let's break it down one last time. On one side, you've got the slave mindset. You see emotions as these uncontrollable commands. Your source of control is all external. It's whatever triggers you, and the result is just vulnerability. But then, you've got the master mindset. Here, emotions are just neutral data. The source of control is your own internal choice. And the outcome? Immunity. It's the difference between being a pawn in your own life and being the architect of your own responses.
And that kind of brings us to the end here. The techniques and ideas we've talked about, they're powerful tools for sure. Tools for self-mastery, for strategic thinking. But it does leave us with one last pretty deep question to chew on. In this quest to become completely untouchable, Where's the line between wielding power and just building a prison around your own heart? Definitely something to think about.